Hey, how's it going, everybody? All right. If you guys are on and you see some people that should be on and you would like for them to jump on with us, go ahead and shoot out a couple quick messages. We're going to get started here in just about a minute or so. We got Danny Webb all the way from Lake Kavasu, Arizona, joining us tonight. She's going to drop some fire. And we got our very own Justin Murrell and Maverick. Oh, Maverick went bye-bye. But
he's coming back. I'm just going to try to share this from here.
Yeah, shoot out some messages, get your people on, and we'll get started here in about another 30 seconds or so. Okay. So, Miss Danny, how are you, my dear?
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. So excited to have you on. You know, this is a series of Zooms that the PNW community, Aaron and myself and Justin are putting together. You know, we had one last week with Chris on recovery and ketones. This week is fitness and ketones. And you know that I follow you and watch your lives and, you know, am super invested in your workouts and what you do. So I thought nobody better than our very own Danny to lead the way and, you know, educate us on what we need to be doing. So, yeah, we'll leave it up to you, my dear.
Well, I appreciate you. Thanks for the kind words. Yeah, I mean, it's an honor and a privilege to be here and just, you know, share the knowledge that I have with you guys. So if you guys don't know who I am, my name is Danny Webb. My husband and I have been drinking and sharing ketones for, it'll be 6 years in the beginning of February. Prior to that, 6 months, it was about 5 to 6 months. I had watched a girl talk about ketones in Workout Done. And for those of you that don't know me, I am plant-based. I've been vegan for over 10 years. And I was like, I don't know what ketones are. I didn't know what the ketogenic diet was. When I was fresh out of high school, I think I read the South Beach diet, or I may still have it somewhere. I don't even know if that's a ketogenic diet, but it intrigued me enough that after stalking her for about 5 or 6 months, I finally Google searched one morning while I was doing my business. I'm like, what is a ketone? And I had no idea that there was this crazy little campfire video that was attached to a community-based marketing that was attached to an insane community. And the product was just the catalyst between, you know, where I was and where I am now, almost 6 years later. So I Google searched it, watched the crazy little campfire video. If you guys are watching this, I'm sure you've seen the campfire video prior to drinking ketones or maybe right after you placed your first order. But I watched it, I ran out and I was like, babe, remember when you were in phase 2 of that workout program that you did for 60 days and you dropped a shit ton of weight real quick? I think you were in ketosis. And he was like, what? Okay. And it not that he disregarded anything that I said, but it kind of lit his razz. And that so he started seeing the word keto and keto here, keto there, keto this, keto that. Started researching the product and found out that it was a community-based marketing, multi-level marketing company, which backstory, we were kind of looking for something different anyways, because we were with a different company for 5.5 years. So fast forwarding, we literally had to find someone that was selling ketones. There was nobody in our community. We live in Lake Kavasu. There's about 60,000 people here year round. Nobody here was selling ketones. Nobody knew what they were. They were pretty new to the market. We were only a couple of years old. So Chris, being my green personality husband, started researching. Took him about a month to where he found someone that we jived with. We got on an 1.5 hour Zoom with her. And at the end of the Zoom call, we had a 10-day trial pack. at the 10-day trial pack. We got our packs. And at the time I was running 7 restaurants, partner in several of the restaurants. We also owned a training center where my husband was an SGX coach for Spartan. I was a personal trainer. So I would teach the endurance and athleticism for Spartan racing and just for overall health and wellness. My husband would teach all the technical stuff of how to get up and over 8-foot walls, how to get up a 15-foot rope. Like we literally had a monkey gym. Like you can climb our walls, climb up the walls, climb over the walls, climb across the walls, you know, and carry 50-pound sacks while you're doing it. So we were heavily vested into our health and wellness. I was drinking pre-workout at the time. I didn't like it. I wasn't an advocate for it, but I knew that I had a better workout with pre-workout, right? So I was looking for something that honestly would make me run faster, ditch my pre-workout, and actually hit podium in Spartan instead of hitting 4th place. I did all that, ditched my pre-workout. My next 3 races preceding, I took 1st place, 3rd place, and 3rd place in Spartan. And I was like, well, okay, I'm fucking sold on this stuff. Like, this is legit. That was it. So I'm sorry, do I have to wash my mouth? This is a community. I am so sorry. I'll try to watch it. Okay. Sorry about that. So listen, I got tattoos. I like to cuss and I like to go really fast. So this is it. It's me. So that was that. Like I was sold on the product. We went to our first event and about 3 months after we started drinking ketones because we knew the importance of events. Like the best investment you'll ever make is the one in yourself. We went to our first event. I walked in and I had never felt like I had belonged in a place 5 minutes after I'd been there. Like, I don't know if you guys are anything like me, but I swear I'm like the biggest misfit ever. I'm super uncomfortable around people, but I love people. I'm what you would call an introvert extrovert, right? So I really value my own time. And I get really like around people, but I love being around people. I walked into this event. It was Keto Academy and More. It was May 23rd of 2018, and it was at the Palace Theater in downtown Louisville. I walked in and I immediately felt like I was at home. And I looked over at Chris, our CEO, who is maybe 6 months older than me, 4 months older than me. I'm getting ready to turn 50 in a couple of months. I was like, babe, like, this is my jam. These are my people. I want to do this. I'm retiring from my career at the end of the month, or I'm sorry, at the end of the year. And we're going all the way with this. The company that we were with previously, like I was good just supporting him and doing my own thing. But this was the real deal. The people were awesome. I didn't feel like I had to be anybody or fit into one certain mold. And I felt like I was seen. I think a lot of us just want to be seen. We want to be heard. We want to know that we make a difference and that we matter. And it was the first time that I wasn't afraid to like talk to people and to be myself and to feel like I actually belonged. So the athleticism on it has been incredible. I don't know what you get. I mean, I don't really know what you want me to talk about. Like that's basically my intro to ketones and to the community. I mean, since then we're pro champ break sevens. We have a huge team, you know, both in the States and Mexico. I mean, we've literally changed thousands of people's lives. I was the overworked, overstressed mom that was running 7 companies with over 300 employees. I was literally the one-man HR band. So you name it. And I did everything that you could possibly think of behind the scenes for 7 restaurants, all different concepts, from fine dining to sports bars to Sonoran cuisine to bistro burgers to a cafe, a brew house with like rotisserie pizza to a cantina. Like, I mean, you name it, we have the concept. And so that was my life. Like I started in the restaurant industry and hospitality industry when I was 15 years old, and I retired literally when I was 45. So it was 2 weeks before my 45th birthday. And so I think that gave me a lot of tools going into, I mean, my office door was revolving. If you guys ever work in office or if you're you know, in a place of where people need to come to you for anything. Like, it seemed like I should have had an 8-foot couch in my office. So you deal with a lot of temperaments, a lot of different talents, a lot of personalities, and a lot of characteristics with people. But I'll tell you, like, that was the foundation for the way I mentor, the way I talk to people, and the way I relate with people. I'm pretty, like, I am the real deal. Like, I'll tell it to you straight, like it is. I hate the word "it is what it is," but there are certain times that you can plug that in there, you know. But I think that ketones for athletic performance overall, I don't want to get sciencey on you. I don't know a lot about ketones, but I know enough to be dangerous. And I'm not here to spit out a bunch of stuff that our doctors and our scientists can tell you from their point of view and from their scientific studies. But I can tell you that if you're looking for the edge for athletic performance, if you're looking for endurance, if you're looking to push your VO2 max, if you're looking for increased oxygen in your blood to flush out your lactic acid quicker, to have faster recovery times, to run faster, and to feel really good while you're running, definitely give ketones a try, and don't take your pre-workout with your ketones. Like, it's either one or the other. Okay. Not like, we're not 1 foot on the banana peel and then 1 foot out the door. Like, just make your choice. I would give it a test, like do a test run, like maybe 5 days. If you've never had ketones and you hit the gym, I know that athletes are really, like, it's hard to break into that market, because if we find something that works, it's really hard for us to go over it. Like, it's not like a running shoe where you try and try and try and try and try, right? Or it's not like a relationship where you try and try and try and try and try until you find the right one. Like, when you find something, typically you stick with what you find that you really, really love. But if you're on the fence and what you're typically doing, or what you're doing right now currently, isn't working for you, or you don't feel like you are pushing your max, or you can do more, then I would certainly get with the person that invited you to this Zoom. Grab a 5-day, grab some Unleashed, grab a box of Radline, grab some Keto Kicks, because all of those products will put you into a state of ketosis, some faster than others, which will increase your oxygen, which will increase your run times, which will increase all of that good stuff that we need as an endurance athletes. So I don't know. I mean, I can keep going and going and going.
You're amazing. You're amazing. I literally have a list of questions that I was going to ask you. And as you're talking, I'm like, oh, got that one. Got that one. Got that one. I did watch a video of you and Chris going back to the ASPI. And just that little short clip that you posted was like, just to hear that information that Dr. Jacob and Dr. Ryan gave you guys was absolutely phenomenal. For you guys that don't know, the ASPI is where they went and took a bunch of labs and athletic tests and physical fitness things, and then got their results explained to them. What, for me personally, I would like to know, one, what was that like? And two, what was your biggest takeaway from that for the people that haven't seen that little short clip that you posted?
Those are great questions. My biggest takeaway from that is that ketones for cognitive function, I mean, outside of the athletic abilities that they help with, but the cognitive function alone, like, I had no idea. You know, that was something that we got to do as an all-day thing. We got there at 8 o'clock in the morning. We were finished at 5 o'clock at night. And they literally put us through every possible test that we could be tested on while we were there. So they tested our arterial life, our BMI, our bone density, our muscle mass. Like, they put us in certain rooms, like the green rooms, where we do plyometrics. We did all kinds of crazy, like one-legged, one-armed, crazy stuff, which was right up my alley. I'm like, yeah, bring it on. But they take at Applied Science Performance Institute, that's what ASPI is. They literally take a silver medal Olympian, and they train them like down to the tiniest little muscle or bone. Like, they train them so that they are shaving off like millimeters of a second, so that it takes them from silver to gold finish. So they're taking your body and they literally like fine tune your body, but they will test every aspect of your body to tell you exactly what you need to work on in order to gain stride or gain momentum or gain strength or do whatever. So I would say my biggest, as a personal trainer, I was struggling with some knee ailments, and I had been battling plantar fasciitis for a couple of years. Like I had cortisone shots in it so that I could run races. I had done PRP in my heel, which is crazy, insanely painful. If you've ever gone through PRP, like that stuff is no joke. I had it in my knee and I had it in my foot, and nothing really seemed to help. When we got to ASPI, I started talking to Dr. Jacob, and he had asked me a couple of very simple questions. You guys can get this on my live this morning because I actually went into detail about this. He'd asked me a couple of very simple questions, and taking the information that he gave me and applying it within 2 to 6 months, the two issues that I was battling, which were my own body issues. It wasn't that I wasn't fast enough or I wasn't strong enough. It was my own things that I was dealing with were fixed. And it was just taking something and tweaking it, you know, taking like we do with ketones. Like I took out my pre-workout and I added ketones and I just tweaked it a little bit. And it took me from 4th place to 3rd place and hitting the podium. It took me from, you know, running 8-minute miles to 7.5-minute miles. Like, I mean, it just those little things, you know, it took me from, I lift heavy weights, right? I want these muscles big. I'm serious.
Right on. That's awesome. I think just watching that little clip that you posted, it was interesting, and it was cool to hear Dr. Jacob talk about how, you know, he saw that in every prover that came there and tested. And how he kept reiterating that, you know, this is what we see in people that are drinking ketones on a consistent basis is results like this. So that was awesome. That was cool. It was just another, you know, validation for us that are just jumping into the fitness world. And so for me, that was huge. So
yeah. That's directly correlated to reaction time. Like with football players, or when you need like basketball players, all of the cognitive function that they did, like it was a 12-minute test that you look into this computer screen and you follow, remember the game Pong from the 80s? Okay. Remember the little Pong ball that went all over, right? Well, you basically follow it. Sometimes it goes faster. Sometimes it goes slower. Sometimes it had tracers, but like you follow it, and as accurate as your eyes can go, like, and I'll have to tell you, like they told us we couldn't drink ketones before we went into doing all of this testing. We didn't drink ketones until after all this testing was done. So we didn't even have ketones, exogenous ketones in our system. It was just the residual, like the after effect of we had been drinking ketones already for a year, over a year. And so it's incredible. Like, you know, the ketones, yeah, they'll go into your system. And if you work out or you do anything super fast, like you're going to burn through them, but the effects of the ketones still stay with you. If I drink ketones at 4:30 in the morning, I'm still going to sleep like a dad at night. So, and that was one thing that Chris actually, yes, he slept like a dad.
Love.
Y'all know babies don't sleep, but the dads do. But you know, so even though the ketones have gone through your system, you still feel the effects of them, right? So that was one of the biggest thing, like for me, was the cognitive function, and seeing that like we scored almost off the scale for how impeccable our cognitive function was. So I mean, just being able to go through something like that, you know, it was that's the real deal, man. That was awesome.
Yeah, that was cool. It was, and like I said, it was eye-opening to see that those results were standard for people that, you know, for provers. So just another validation. Thank you, Danny. We appreciate you so much. Justin, you ready, sir?
Bring it.
For you, Justin, my question would be, you know, we have a lot of people that are joining our community, you know, on a daily basis. What would you recommend and say to people that are just now, like myself, that are just now starting out on their fitness journey And, you know, we've been drinking ketones for a minute, but now we're starting to put, you know, the pedal to the metal and doing the workouts and all the things. What, for you, what would be your, you know, your recommendation for that?
Oh, for one, thanks, Danny. I have some guys, some firearms guys who are watching the live. It's in one of our Facebook groups. And the cognitive benefit, if you're watching, is just another addition to the, you know, they're looking for fat loss, but there's so many other benefits that come with this. So my big thing, I am not, I don't have a bunch of acronyms behind my name. I've just stacked the things that have worked for me and then helping other people. My biggest thing is you're talking to a dude who just lost over 60 pounds again. I was drinking ketones. So when people are like, I've been drinking ketones, but when you put some activity to it, it's a totally different product. And so when I help like the average person, like let's just say a first responder, people are like, should I count my macros? And they get all weird, and that's cool. And we should get there. But if there's some steps, so the average person, if fat loss is a goal, I'll just try to move their eating window, right? Because I was raised to eat every 2 to 3 hours, and you know, you got to eat or you're going to gain weight and all of the things. So if I can help the average bear find some times to eat during the day and then add the activity, for me, and I feel weird giving advice with super smart people on here, but for me, at least, to really grab those results super quick were fasted workouts and drinking ketones prior to the, okay, good. Some people that are smart are nodding their head up and down because, and I just learned this the other day, you know, your first 20 minutes of hardcore activity, you're burning through your glucose. But if there's not another fuel there, your body will actually quickly go to muscle right away. I just learned that. And then the cool thing about ketones is that your brain, your heart, and your muscles all prefer ketones over glucose. So prior to ketones, the drink, we had to do a certain diet, right? You could never have ketones and glucose present at the same time because the keto diet requires you to run out. Now, with the research that they have, when you drink exogenous ketones, there's glucose and ketones. So people are like, oh, well, what's going to happen? Well, your brain and your heart and your muscle prefer the ketones. So that's why, you know, I was military, did workouts, did pre-workouts, did all the things. I know what it's like to kick my own ass in the gym. And I work out probably maybe half as hard. Like I'm just not doing what I used to when I wasn't getting the results. And now the effort that I'm putting in, I get more bang for my buck. And what I'm learning, especially helping men, like a lot of older men, they have a big used to list. Like I used to work out, I used to run, I used to play softball, I used to. When I hear that and they're in like this little pity party or getting ready to get started, I'm like, dude, you got muscle memory. The last 2 years since I've moved to Colorado, just getting active in the gym with ketones, my body has completely transformed with resistance training. And my first 2 months of working out was literally me going to the gym, sitting on a yoga ball, cutting content, lifting here and there. So I believe the consistency, this is the key, the consistency of using ketones as a fuel source. You know, you could take it for 10 days, you could take it for 20 days. It is absolutely not the same as taking it for 60 days. And giving this a good college try, especially if you're already active. So if I have people who go to the gym and they know their body and they're like, I get weird if I drink an ounce of wheatgrass, like they know their body better than anybody. If I add a serving of ketones, like Danny was saying, before their physical activity, it usually just turns a light on for them. So my biggest tip is just get in a routine, ketones before a fasted workout, and then just get after it. Did that help? That was super long.
That was super correct. We're so proud of you.
Yeah.
For you, Justin, especially like being prior military and, you know, like you say, we know how to kick our own ass in the gym. Do you feel like there's one thing that has been more successful for you versus something else, as far as like resistance or heavy lifting or anything like that? Is there one thing over the other, or is it just, you know, just staying consistent for you?
Well, now that I'm in my 40s, I'm all about functional training so I don't fall and break a hip. So, but seriously, I did all the heavy lifting. I wanted to be a bodybuilder. I got legs like a giraffe. My big thing, and you'll hear me say it all the time, is consistency. I don't care if you do go to the gym and you go walk on an incline treadmill for a minute and go do leg lifts and you just get there. The biggest part is just get moving. I have this whole mindset of we're tribal and, you know, all of the things. If I was back in the day, I would not be sitting in my teepee all day or my hut or my cabin, whatever you are. I would be out moving, right? Hunting and doing stuff. And if I wasn't a hunter, I'd be making a basket. I'd be doing something. So if you can just be active, you know, I have people who are like, man, I should get working out. I'll have them, like, some people, the most active part of their week is going to Costco. So if I can say, hey, don't eat before Costco, make your ketones, make them in the cart when you get there and go to that cool ice machine they have so people see you doing it. But drink ketones while you're mobbing through Costco. For one, you won't be starving and buy all the peanut butter cups. And two, you're going to be in ketosis while you're moving and shaking. So my big thing is consistency and timing, like just timing it correctly. For me, helping the average person, it's easier for me to piggyback a non-eating window after they wake up, right? Because then they only have to make it to 10 or 11 or 12. We've just piggybacked that non-eating window on top of not eating while you're sleeping, I hope. And then we can trick the average person into doing some intermittent fasting. So consistency, and then getting your ketones in before whatever that activity is. Because you got to start somewhere. My big thing is go on a walk. If you're not doing anything, just put it in your calendar, 1 walk a week. Like, just start there. And then you can add to it and go from there.
And that brings me to Mr. Aaron Winhorn.
Sure.
Well, I just have a specific question for Justin. So you always comment on my calves. So, you know, it's what is the question I have basically is there any specific Prove It products that you would recommend that are designed for fitness and endurance during workouts?
Yes. So before the product I'm going to rave about, the ampules, I love the ampules. We call them the Mexican ketones. It's because that was the product that we launched Mexico with. Some people are like, are they spicy? No, they're not. But they put you in ketosis within 5 or 10 minutes. And they're not salt-based. So some people are like label readers. They'll be like, there's some sodium in these. I'm like, dude, just get the Mexican ketones and let's get after it. But I like those because they're quick. They're the same price as the regular ketones. And I just feel different. I feel great when I drink those, always. Even if I'm grumpy and I break the ampule into my water bottle and I rinse it out and squirt it in my mouth, I swear, right after I do that, I feel a little bit better. I don't know, but I do know my brain absorbs them right away and I'm in ketosis. But we just came out with Radline, and anybody who's messed with Radline, I have a brand new Prove It promoter, and maybe she's watching this. I gave her one and she goes, I'm going to drink this before my hike. Like, if there's one product right now where if I had the biggest skeptic in the world and they were like, I'm going to go try to set a PR, what do I use? I would say use a Radline. They call it a sports hydration drink. It doesn't make your skin crawl. It doesn't make you weird, but boy, do you get stuff done. So Radline, long answer.
Amen.
That's awesome.
Amen.
Yeah.
I mean, I know naturally I don't like to work out. So, you know, the difference between me drinking a ketone pre-workout and not drinking a ketone is, you know, I push myself and have that extra length and have the energy to actually do it, whether I want to, you know, do it mentally or, you know, because I like to eat. So, you know, besides that, you know, ketones is great for curbing that appetite and helping with that workout for sure.
And my thing I help people with too is some people need to pre-funk before they go out, right? And so when it comes to the gym, sometimes people don't even get to the pre-workout because they can't get to the gym. So that's where, like, you know, the ampules, if I know somebody has a really tough time going to the gym, if I can get them ketones a couple hours early, like maybe 2 hours before they think they're going to go to the gym, you know how it is after you drink these ketones for 2 to 4 hours, you're like, woo, like you just feel good. If I can time one of their, like maybe their first serving, they're in the mood to go to the gym, to have their pre-workout, to do the workout that they weren't doing. Does that make sense? Just something to think about, you know, really being strategic with, hey, I've set this time aside. I know I can make it to the gym. I just have to get there. And so whatever we can use as a crutch to limp into those doors, drink this, you know, and go get silly for a minute, because it's the compound interest. The first day, the second day, getting the soreness out. But it's when you get back there that next week and you see a vein and you're like, oh man, and your pants feel different, like, then that's the momentum that keeps you going. So I don't know if that helps.
I love that. If you see a vein.
Yeah.
No, that's true though. That's 100% true. Danny, I want to ask you about the pros. I know that the pros are a huge thing that we've talked about before. With the whole 40%, you know, it's, you stay in a fat burning mode for the 40% longer with the pros. I just wanted to see if you could touch on that just a little bit. And then, you know, if you guys have questions or, you know, something you want to say, feel free to drop it in the Q&A section or here in the chat, and we can get to it. And then we'll let everybody go after that if you guys are done.
Hey, okay, so yeah, that's a great question about the Keto OS Pro. So Dr. Ryan was talking about this on stage. I believe it was at the last, I'm not sure if it was Epic or the last KK and More. And it was, I talked about this morning in the Drink Ketones Daily group. So their scientific studies are showing that when Keto OS Pro is consumed in a fasted state, it increases your fat burning by 70%. And it also increases your metabolism by 40% for up to 2 hours after consumption. So, and that's because of the amino acids that are in the Keto OS Pro. That's what makes that possible. So it's up to 2 hours while you're in a fasted state. If you consume the Keto OS Pro, increases your fat burning by 70 and metabolism by 40. You know, and I don't drink ketones just for athletic performance. I mean, listen, I run races, but it's not what I do for a living. Right? I work out every day, but I work out fasted. So like Justin was saying, and find what works for you, because whatever you're doing, obviously it's working because you're continuing to do it. If it's not working, then you've got to be open to trying something different, right? It's the whole cliche. If you want something different, you've got to do something different. So if what you're currently doing is working well for you, then I would just stay with that and like double down on it. But here's the deal, like ketones don't have a one size fit most, they have a one size fits all, meaning they're safe from, according to my girlfriend, Dr. Heather Carden, they're safe from womb to tomb. My 84-year-old father drinks ketones. My 1-year-old grandson consumes ketones. Okay. Now I say that with the purest heart. I'm not saying that, you know, Bo shakes up a full serving of uncharged ketones. They are under discretion, right? But they're not going to do anything wrong or harm your body. And that was the biggest thing that I was skeptic about. Like, what are they going to do to my kidneys? What are they going to do to my liver? What are they going to do to this? What are they going to do to that? And after all of my own research, I found that, well, what we're drinking is literally bioidentical to what our body would make if we were eating the ketogenic diet. I don't eat keto, I eat plant-based, and I love carbs, right? So find what works for you and dive into that. Ketones at work, I call them a catalyst between wanting to do something and actually getting your ass off the couch and doing something. So if it's going outside to your mailbox to check your mail every single day and not sending your husband or not sending your kids out there, that's movement, right? If you have a desk job and you sit at your desk all day, drink more water. Guess what? Pro tip, you're going to have to pee more. You're going to have to get up. Those are squats, right? You can do some fancy walking lunges on your way to the bathroom on your way back from the bathroom, probably not to the bathroom, or else you'll be doing a crazy squatty potty dance. I don't know. But, you know, we can incorporate movement anytime. The thing is with ketones, the more you do, the better you feel, right? And I'll never forget, going back to an athletic side of this, the first time I had ketones and the first time I really, really felt them kick in, Justin can probably relate to this, doing a soft sand run where you literally feel like your quads. Well, Justin, I don't know. He said he had giraffe legs. We can talk about that later. But when you're running soft sand, your quads are dying, your calves are dying, like, oh my gosh, the lactic acid is a real thing. And I remember drinking, I don't know if you guys remember the flavor Envy. It's similar to our mint chip. I drank that one and I was running a soft sand run uphill out of a canyon. And I felt like I wanted to go faster and I wanted to go faster. And typically I would be sucking wind, like I would be sucking the rocks off the side of the mountain, right? Because it was hard, but I felt really, really good. Okay. My 84-year-old dad is not going to do a soft sand run out of a canyon, right? He likes the fact that he can drink them and he doesn't have to take a nap in the afternoon, right? So it's a one size fits all, not a one size fits most. You can get in where you fit in, and it doesn't have to be like, oh, I drink ketones for athletic performance, because realistically, I only race a handful of races every year, but I drink ketones several times a day, right? It just works for me. They help with hormones, they help with skin, they help with digestion, they help with appetite suppression, they help with my hunger, they help with mood, they help with focus, they help with so many things, right? So what you're looking for, you will find, whether it's on the good spectrum or the bad spectrum. Gosh darn it, I have way too much energy. Or can you believe it? I actually slept for 7 solid hours last night. Dang it, right? Like, you're going to find what you're looking for. And it's not just that they are an athletic fuel. They do help, they do aid, but it's a tool, just like anything else that we have, you know, that we're supplementing, that we supplement with, right? It's a tool that you keep in your tool belt that you break out and you use when you need it. So keep that in mind. My dog's going ballistic. I'm sorry. My Chihuahua.
That's okay. I'm shocked it's not mine. So I'm okay with that. Well, we appreciate you guys. Aaron is going to drop some polls if you guys want to answer those really quick. Yes, we're fancy. This is how we do things. So if you want to, there should be 2 questions. If you want to answer those real quick. If you guys have any other questions or anything you would like for us to, you know, talk about the next time, let us know. Danny, as always, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate you for pouring into us. Justin, we love you to death, ride or die, you know that. And thanks everybody for joining, and we'll see you guys next time.
Thanks for having me.
Great rest of the evening.
Thank you very much.
Deuces.
Adios.